Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your man Melvin Taylor. We're back in studio right here for the alternative of Melvin Taylor. What y'all was just listening to. It's a song by Prince Newman and Ricky Rose called Luxury Tax. I'll give y'all the full thing later on. Had to figure out a few technical difficulties at first, as I was like, is the microphone in the studio working? But it definitely was. Your boy just dropped his phone earlier and it hit a button, and I had no clue that it even hit that button. But man, I'm so glad to be back in studio with you guys. So happy to be back here. Was recently my birthday last week. Shout out to everybody that sent me emails telling me happy birthday. They hit me up on social media, told me happy birthday. Shout out to everybody that told me on my YouTube channel happy birthday. Shout out to everybody that came to celebrate with me this past weekend. Definitely appreciate and love all you guys. It was a lot of fun, man. Tanya, shout out to you because you sent me the email. I just want to let you know. Shout out to you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much to everybody on Periscope telling me happy belated as well, man. It's just insane because when I think about like the past week and where I am in my life now, given my birthday and just kind of like sitting back and reflecting on everything, it's like, man, it's incredible to see that last year today, actually, I was leaving probably around this time right now, as a matter of fact. That's how crazy this is, right? Last year around this time, I was heading back home from a birthday celebration, and it might have been yesterday around this time. That might be more. That might be probably better, but that's more accurate. Was going back home after Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover, had just finished hosting SNL. Didn't get to see it, so I DVR'd it. But as I get home, I get an IG notification that he posted something. And what happens? This Is America pops up. It was a year ago, basically. And at that point, I was maybe at like 600 or 700 YouTube subscribers. And then that video like exploded, which would be today. That video exploded today and catapulted me over 1,000. Probably equated it like to maybe 1,500 or so. And now a year later, grinding, learning, putting in more work on YouTube. And now on my birthday, last Wednesday, we hit 10,000 subscribers, bro. How crazy is that? 10,000. We still growing right now. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can actually check my phone right now to let y'all know where we at. But just to even think that that's something that can happen over like a year's time, like that's crazy. It may not be anything like super big or significant to y'all to that degree, but thinking like where I was in terms of trying to build my own platform and how long of a journey this has been to be able to get to this point. And now being able to say like, yo, I have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Right now we're at 10,113, by the way. That's just absolutely incredible to me to think about that. So I'm so thankful, so grateful for that as well, man. Like just that happening. And then today on the show, guys, I don't know if y'all know, but this episode of The Alternative of Melvin Taylor is my 150th episode of me doing this show. So this show started maybe in 2015? October 2015 is when I put out my first episode of this show. It was, funny enough, on a Tuesday. And now 4 years later, we're at episode 150, man. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. I know I'm not like jittery and showing it like I normally would on YouTube, but that's because I don't want my voice to go out, so that way I can't talk to y'all for the rest of the show. But it's just incredible to think about how far I've come in that time and where I am now, and to just think about how blessed I am to have all the people that are surrounding me and everybody that's helped me get to this point, and then all the ups and downs that have gotten to this point. Like, it definitely ain't been easy. In no way, shape, or form has it been easy. In no way, shape, or form has it been like a piece of cake. Like, you know, when people say you can't have your cake and eat it too, even though I feel J. Cole when he was like, man, it's cake, it's what you're supposed to do. Like, it has not been that easy whatsoever. But just thinking back on how everything was worth it to be able to get to where I am now, and to be able to speak to you guys in this way and be this honest and be this vulnerable on the mic here, and also on YouTube, or when we're doing Making Manhattan, or when I'm on stage doing sketch. It's just awesome to be able to do, man. It's just awesome. It's just a good time. It's just a great vibe, and I absolutely love it, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. Today's show is probably going to take a little bit of a detour because, as I told you guys, a lot of this is going to be about me discussing what has helped me to get to this point, and just kind of detailing you guys on a little bit more of my journey, so that way you guys can know more about me and know more about how I ultimately got to this place of having this weekly radio show. Also having this radio show and my sit down talk interview show air on TV out here in New York, and also still building on YouTube all the time, and then still going out and doing sketch comedy, and then writing digital shorts or co-writing digital shorts, and acting and producing in digital shorts. So a lot of different things, still trying to find time to work out. I haven't hit my Killmonger yet, but I'm still working on getting there. Like that's going to happen. Like, without a doubt, it's going to happen, and it's just going to look better because I'm bald and I got the beard too. But anyway, I'll leave that for when we get to that point. But I'm so excited. Hey, Killmonger on the way. That's exactly what's going right now. I'm hyped about that, right? But I didn't forget about out here singing and whatnot. But yes, today's show is gonna take a little bit of a detour from that. So with that being said, I'm definitely gonna hop in and give you guys a little bit more music. Then we're gonna talk about just a few of the topics that have happened this week, just so that way we can still kind of get our weekly recap in a sense, so that way you guys don't miss anything or don't miss my opinion about some of the things that have happened. And then from there, we're going to just take a deep dive into when I came to New York, how this show started, how I got to this place, and how everything is beginning to roll into the way in which it is now. All right. So I hope that that's going to be good enough for y'all for today's show, because it's good enough for your boy, and that's what y'all finna get today. All right, cool. Solidarity. We on that same page. Wakanda forever. Right now, I'm finna go ahead and throw that Luxury Tax back on. It's by Prince Newman featuring Ricky Rose, Rick Ross. I was gonna react to this track, but when the track started, I just got so wrapped up in it because I was like, this is a smooth beat and Rick Ross is featured on it, so I know I'm going to love it, because whenever Rick Ross get one of those, like, one of those luxurious or like lavish type of beats, as soon as it come on and you like, oh, Rick Ross is on this, okay, I need to get a mink coat, I need to go ahead and get me the Gucci slides on. I need to have me like the dark sunglasses and like a cigar in my hand with either some wine or something. Like, it feels like that. It feels like, you could say cognac as well. It feels like that when this beat comes on, when I found out that Rick Ross is featured on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that back on for you guys. We're gonna hit some of the topics in which we're gonna discuss, and then from there we'll speak more about the alt with Mel and how we got to this point in time, man. 150 shows. D General, thank you so much, man. What's up? Shout out to Periscope, everybody that's on Periscope. Definitely just say what's up. Let me know how you feel about what's going on. Give you guys a shout out as well. And to everybody that's out there watching this back too, if there's anything that you want to say, make sure to comment that down below on whichever platform it is that you're watching this at this point in time, man. It's the alternative of Melvin Taylor. I right here. Like I told you guys before, what I got for y'all. Luxury Tax, Prince Newman featuring Ricky Ross, Ricky Rose. The alternative. Don't go nowhere. Yo, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, we was just up in the studio just cracking up at the fact that they actually threw that in towards the actual back of the song. That's absolutely crazy that they did that. But anyway, I just reacted to that track on my YouTube page. Please go make sure to check it out on Melvin Taylor II, which is my YouTube page. Y'all definitely go ahead and hit that up so that you can see everything that I had to say. That song, for those of y'all that don't know, is called Homicide by Logic and Eminem. So actually, I had one of my followers on Twitter, Eduardo, hit me up and was like, hey, yo, Mel, like, what's going on? Are we going to get this today or not? And I was like, hey, bro, it's coming. I promise you it's coming. And gave him a little shout out during the video as well. But the song was absolute fire. I knew once I was like, Logic and Eminem on the track together, it's going to be outstanding. And also, Joyner Lucas put out a track called Devil's Work. I haven't released my video for it yet. Y'all will get that video tomorrow. But when I tell you That video had a lot to say. Man, that video had a lot to say in there. It was mostly, for those of you who don't know, Joyner Lucas obviously is the same guy who made the song I'm Not a Racist and the video for that. And this song was just packed with him just questioning what's going on, why are things happening the way that they do, why are some of the good people being taken and some of the not so good people still here. And it was just a very interesting dynamic in which he took and the way he went about explaining it, even showing pictures of like saying why do we have people like Nipsey that are gone, right? But we have people like Trump that are leading the country. Or why do we have people such as I don't like to say her name correctly, so I'm gonna say Tabitha Lorraine, even though y'all know who I'm talking about. The girl from Fox. The blonde girl from Fox that always, I'm not saying her name correctly purposely. No, not that one. She the older one. I'm talking about the younger one. I'm not saying her name correctly because, say it again. I mean, they are, but I'm purposely not saying her name correctly. But her, like, why do we have people spewing such rhetoric like that, but we have people that are doing such good being taken away from us? It was a really interesting way in which he portrayed all of it, while also drinking some Hennessy and holding a picture of white Jesus. So I was like, whoa. From the jump in the video, I was like, he's drinking Hennessy in a church, holding a picture of white Jesus, and you got a picture of Trump on this side and Nipsey Hussle on this side. I paused it right there and was like, this is about to go off the rails. I already know. And I kind of guessed from that point what we was going to get in the video, and I was correct. But I'm not going to tell y'all anything more. Y'all have to go check out my YouTube channel, Melvin Taylor II, to get the full reaction out of me from that, as well as my Logic and Eminem Homicide reaction, because the way Eminem just spazzed on that verse was crazy. I had one of my subscribers, I'm mad I can't actually bring up. What's up, Hillary? Shout out to you. Thank you so much for joining in. I had one of my subscribers actually say on the video, I haven't responded to him yet. I got to get back to him, but I'm telling him right now that I just shouted him out. He said on there, if you listen to the track on the actual chorus, when Logic says like shady, I was like, okay, like that was kind of cool, but why did he do that? And he promptly responded with, he called him 3 times on the chorus like you would with Beetlejuice, and then the 3rd time Eminem actually popped up and started rapping. I was like, oh, that was fire. I had no clue. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. I was still tripping over, I think Eminem got like a triple entendre out of using Red Rover 3 times, and I was still trying to break that down. And I think I got most of the way there before somebody had helped me fill out the rest of it. But it was still, anyway, y'all go check out the video so that way y'all can see everything that I'm talking about in that respect. Real quick, couple things that happened this past week. A few things that went on this past week. Farrakhan got banned from Facebook. I was slightly confused. Facebook and IG. Well, IG because they owned by Facebook as well. Facebook and IG because if I'm reading correctly, I'm gonna go ahead and read y'all from what I got here. Chicago Sun-Times. Shout out to the home city. The Nation of Islam on Monday called Facebook's decision to ban leader Louis Farrakhan completely unjustified. The enemy of the truth is afraid of anyone who will speak the truth. According to the Nation of Islam statement, the decision of Facebook and IG to remove his account has to be questioned as to the real reason behind it and who is behind it. Only the wicked are afraid when the light of truth appears. So while Facebook did not say what led to the crackdown, it says that newly banned accounts violated its existing policies. The company says it has, quote, always banned people or groups that proclaim a violent or hateful mission or are engaged in acts of hate or violence regardless of political ideology. Now, Minister Farrakhan was not the only person banned. There are also a lot of alt-right and I believe people that are very far-leaning right, aka super conservative people that were also banned as well. But a lot of people took a strong stance on this, saying, why are you banning somebody such as Minister Farrakhan's stature for a lot of things that he's done that have been in positive and that have been positive for what he's done, for lack of better phraseology, for what I could get out right now. And I'm kind of interested to see how long the ban actually lasts, because to be completely honest with you guys, I don't think it's going to be long. I think this is going to be something where they do this for right now and then they ultimately bring him back at some point in time, just like some of the other people that they banned too. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to, like, put it this way, 2 months from now, I think he'll be back on these social media platforms. And then at the same point in time, you know how this is quote unquote also a win at the same time. Now you're just going to get more people that are going to share his content. And at the same time, that's also going to drive people to go back to these specific places and platforms where he can engage with them in his own way instead of just set up how Facebook and Instagram has it set up for people to be able to do that. Because it's not like people aren't going to go and search out and seek what it is that he has to say. If he was somebody that solely relied on these platforms, then I would probably be a bit more like, yo, what's going on? But because I know he'll ultimately be okay from this, I'm like, all right, I don't think this is going to hurt as much as what it could if not. And there are a couple questions that I have in terms of, yo, why is it that he was banned and what was going on? But when you look back over some of the things that have been said, some of it does adhere to what Facebook has said. Now, we understand that not every social media platform has been clear cut, concise, and consistent, most importantly, with banning everybody the way that they say they do, because there's a lot of people on Twitter that say everything that they want to say, don't get banned. A lot of people on Facebook that say everything that they want to say, don't get banned. A lot of people on Instagram that say everything they want to say, don't get banned, and so on and so forth. So it's interesting to me that they are now taking this stance, and I want to see how far that ultimately goes. But this is a situation that we just have to monitor and see how exactly it's going to continue to play out. Because it is a little silly to me that it's going to happen and that in 2 months' time it's probably going to unhappen. It's kind of like how, well, I told you guys after a week I was going to start spoiling Avengers Endgame for y'all. So it is what it is. If you haven't seen it at this point, I'm sorry. But the movie passed Titanic in how much money was made, like $2.2 billion. So at this point, that's on y'all. So it's kind of like when the snap happened in Infinity War and then they undid everything to bring everybody back in Endgame. It's kind of like that. I think it's going to happen in that same aspect in like a couple months' time. So we'll see what's going on with that. Last week as well, we had the Billboard Music Awards, and I believe Drake took home a bunch of trophies. And at the end of his speech, he shouted out Game of Thrones as well. I've been watching Game of Thrones recently because my roommate absolutely loves it, and my girlfriend is now going to get into it. She says she thinks she's going to go all the way back to the beginning and watch, and I was like, you go ahead and do that. I ain't got time to do that, but by all means, do your thing. And for any of you guys that saw not this past episode that happened, but the one before that, where it was like the long night where they had their battle, and Arya ended up stabbing the Night King and killing him. Drake shouted her out in his speech and was like, yo, shout out to Arya for putting in that work last week. So you know what that means, right? You know that means she's gonna die in one of these two upcoming episodes, because whatever Drake does, bro, it's a curse, dog. It's a curse. It's a curse. You know what it is at this point, man. Whoever Drake reps at that point in time, it's unfortunate and it's goofy, but it's hilarious that it always happens. So she didn't die in this past episode. And I'm hoping that she make it out, because I kind of like her character from these 4 episodes that I've seen thus far. But if something happened, man, listen, I'm going to be like, hey, it's Drake's fault, bro. Blame it on Drake. Drake the reason why it had to go this way. So we're going to see what's up with that. And also, I don't know if y'all saw the clip, but Taylor Swift had a performance that opened the Billboard Music Awards that just looked eerily similar to a performance that happened last year that was a lot more seasoned and had a lot more spice to it as well. I don't know if y'all know what I mean, but Taylor Swift opened the awards with her new song. I'm forgetting the name of it right now. I'm going to try and find that name for you guys as well, because I don't want to be disrespectful or rude in any way, shape, or form to her or her artistry, because Taylor obviously is a very gifted, talented, well-known artist. But it just felt very weird that she opened up the Billboard Music Awards, the BBMAs, with a drum line. Now, I'm understanding that her new track that she had released, in it, a drum line is featured. Cool. A lot of drums, a lot of people banging on stuff. You got the percussion, all the trumpets. Cool, all of that. Yeah. It just felt and feels weird that that's what you release right after Beyonce just put out Homecoming. Literally everybody for the past 2.5 to 3 weeks has been talking about Beyonce and how amazing Homecoming was, how awesome the documentary is. Like, people have been like, I've seen people talking about shedding tears to that documentary, and just like how much they were able to pull away from that. And you come and copy the same thing. It felt very odd, guys. Now, I could be off base. this could be something that Taylor has done for years. And if that's the case, and if you're a Taylor Swift fan, please let me know down below, because I don't want to be incorrect in anything I'm speaking about. You know, I want to make sure that I'm presenting the best possible information to you guys as much as I can, as often as I can. But it just felt mad awkward and weird that it was like, bro, you just gonna straight up copy it? Like, you just gonna come out with a band? Like, for real? You couldn't be any more original than that, bro. You couldn't be any more original than that. So I don't know. It just felt mad weird to me. So we'll see what's up. We'll see if that's. I wonder if, I think she might have released that as her actual music video. Which, if that's the case, then so be it. But it just felt super awkward and weird that it was like, yo, Beyonce just did this. Come on, bro. You could have let it live for 2 weeks before you had to go ahead and copy it. But to each their own, I guess. Just heading back to Game of Thrones real quick, because I told you guys I've been watching some of it. For those of you guys that don't watch it, it's okay. Don't worry. You're not missing much. They only got 2 episodes left, so if you want to hop in, then by all means go ahead like I did. Like, I'm not interested in the first 7 seasons. I'm cool. I'm fine just watching these episodes and getting the blunt truth in the end of it. But it's hilarious that, like, one of the main characters, she's known as like the mother of dragons, and there's this running joke that she had a 3-dragon lead at one point. You know, ending last season, she had a 3-dragon lead, similar how the Golden State Warriors had a 3-1 lead up on the Cleveland Cavaliers. She lost one of them dragons at the end of last season. She just lost another dragon last episode. People are like, yo, she finna blow a 3-dragon lead, bro. 3-dragon lead. And I'm fully expecting for her to go absolutely bonkers, for her to go crazy in this next episode, specifically because her right-hand woman, Missy Yandra, I'm forgetting the young black girl's name. It's the same black girl from Fast and Furious. Natalie Emmanuel, I believe is her name. You can look it up and correct me on it, but I believe her name is Natalie Emmanuel. She plays Missy Yandra. Yes, that is her right there. Natalie Joanne Emmanuel. Perfect. I hit it right. There we go. And spoiler alert, but she got beheaded in this last episode. And everybody was not expecting. Well, let me not say everybody was not expecting it. I kind of knew either her or the other black dude, Grey Worm. I'm forgetting his real name, but he also goes by Raleigh Ritchie as an artist. He kind of got like the Gambino thing going on, where he has like his actual name, but he has an artist name as well. And he's actually very talented, very good. I've been telling a lot of Game of Thrones fans, like, he's been a big deal for a while. I knew about him back in like 2014, and he's just been killing it so far. They kind of had this thing where him and her, like, they were the only 2 black people on the show. And they just kind of, you know how it is when black people are on the show, bro. And it's a mostly white show, and they talk about, we going to have a great life, and we going to get out of this, and we going to make it. You already know they setting them up for one of them to die, right? So in the last episode, when they had the big battle where they had to fight like the army of the dead, I thought my man's was going to die. He didn't. He went John Wick on all the zombies, bro. Made it out. A lot of people ain't make it out. He made it out. She made it out too. I was like, ooh, okay. All right, we good to go. We good to go. They might actually make it to Atlanta. They might actually make it to Wakanda and have a great life after all, bro. Wrong. Wrong. They took that dragon out. They caught one of the ships by surprise, took all them out, and captured her as a slave. And it was kind of sad, because the one thing that she said was that she didn't want to go out in shackles and chains. And that's exactly how she did go out. And the key point that made this all crazy was that Grey Worm, her man, the dude, the other black guy, he's a part of this army where one of the requirements for being in the army is that you have to face your fears. Like, whatever your fear is, they make you face it. They make you overcome it. So that way, when you go out into battle, you will be fearless. So no matter what, you won't have anything holding you back. He didn't have any fears. He didn't have any fears until he met her. His one fear was not being able to make it to their promised land with her. And he just had to watch her be beheaded. So I'm fully expecting my man to go John Wick next episode, and to just, as many, whoever's in his path is not finna make it. That's 100% what I'm expecting. And if I don't get that, I'm going to be supremely disappointed. There were a lot of people that were also disappointed at the fact that obviously half of the minority representation on the show got killed off. and that they did it in the way in which they did it as like she was a slave, she was shackled, and that her head got chopped off like that. They was like, yo, that's not fair, that's not right, blah blah blah. There was a lot that went on with that, and a lot of people were angered by that as well. I kind of fell in the minority group and being like, I mean, obviously, but I fell in the minority of being like, hey man, look, this is a show where anybody can go at any point in time. So I kind of expected it, and I kind of knew one of them wasn't going to make it out. I just didn't think it wasn't going to be her. So I wasn't that hurt by it. I understand that a lot of people were, because they're like, okay, you're just kind of perpetuating some stereotypes and some tropes for women and for black people, for black women specifically. I didn't think that it was that deep. However, there are a lot of people who did feel that way. And that also gives credence to a lot of people in saying that they were, what's the best way that I can put it? They are not as excited about, I believe it's going to be HBO or Amazon. I think it's going to be HBO. Are supposed to be doing that show Confederate with the same writers of Game of Thrones. If y'all remember that, it's going to be about what happened if the South would have won the Civil War. So they're like, if this is how y'all treating the black people in this show, we don't want to see what's going to happen in Confederate, which in that aspect, I completely understand. I don't want to watch that either. I hope that if that is something that does actually become into development, then Amazon Studios is going to get back on the, what's my man's name that did the Boondocks? Aaron Magruder. Aaron Magruder, I believe, pitched something to them as like, I think it was like, what if, like if black people was free or something. It was something that was like a spin off of, all right, y'all doing like if the South had won, what if like black people was the ones in charge, or what if we had been free the entire time, or what if y'all was the ones that was enslaved? And I think that's something that they had pitched to Amazon. So if that Confederate show actually takes off, I would love for Amazon to be like, all right, Nathan Magruder, here you go, bro. You got full reign, full control. We're going to put every dollar, every cent behind you to make this work. Let's go ahead and have this happen. Like that would be an interesting dynamic to me to see how they can combat it. So that would be dope, but we'll ultimately see what ends up happening with that.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Now, I told you guys that eventually I'm going to get into my story, and this being the 150th episode, and we are just about there. Just want to run through a couple more things that also came out this past week. Blink 182 and Lil Wayne are going on tour. I know everybody in 2004 is getting hyped right now. But I did have a lot of coworkers and friends tell me today that they are actually super excited about this. And I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that whatsoever. And I feel the same way that I felt about it then. Like this is 2004, 2005. Like I would be hype about it too. But it kind of feels like let's just do whatever we can. But I'm kind of cool with Lil Wayne, and I'm forgetting the drummer's name from Blink 182. But you know who I'm talking. You know who I'm talking about. The fact that they'll be on tour together and that they always do collaborations, that aspect of it has me excited. Not so much. I wasn't the biggest Blink 182 fan. Travis Barker. There we go. The fact that if we did like this is basically Travis Barker and Lil Wayne toured in that aspect. So I think they're gonna do like some Blink 182 and then Travis Barker and a bunch of Lil Wayne. So we'll see what's up with it. I don't know if I'll be in attendance, but if any of y'all are gonna go, I would love to know. What's your favorite Blink 182 song? What's your favorite Lil Wayne song? And y'all can just let me know down below. There's actually a list of people saying Lil Wayne's worst lines in history, because he got a lot of bad ones. It was a kind of funny list. If I can find that for you guys, we'll end up running through it. Probably not this week, but next week, because it's gonna take a lot of digging to be able to find it. But it was just funny looking at some of them. But I feel like, did we hype up Real G's Moving Silence like lasagna too much? I just want to ask that question. If we didn't, please let me know. If we did, please let me know. Because I remember everybody, once that line was said, that was like the tagline for everybody for a long time. So I was like, did we hype that up a little too much there? Or was that adequate for the time and it still fits? Y'all let me know down below wherever back y'all watching this. What else we got? Lil Nas X keep putting out snippets of these new songs that he has. And now I am at the point where if his album is not fire, I'm going to be disappointed. Because all these snippets that I'm hearing are amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it feels like, you know how B.O.B. was like no genre type of guy? Like, yo, don't put me in no box. I want to do whatever type of music I want to do. That's exactly what this feels like with Lil Nas X. 100% what it feels like. And I'm like, okay, please, Lil Nas X, keep the same energy. Keep this no genre energy going up, because I want to see you kill it in every single genre. I want to see you bend it. I want to see you bend it to your will and it to fit your musical talent, please. So whoever you got to work with to make that happen, let that happen. Just don't let any of these snippets that I'm hearing, the songs actually be released and they be bad, because I'm gonna be mad. I'm rooting for you, bro. I'm rooting for you. Please give me a good album once you get there. Please do. We got a new Spider-Man trailer today. Spider-Man Far From Home is the official trailer. It's the official trailer now because we are out of Endgame. Everybody knows what happened in Endgame now. And now this takes on the mantle of Spider-Man Peter Parker having to say, now that my hero Tony Stark is no longer with us, now that he's gone, it's time for me to have to grow into that role and deal with the harsh reality that I have to become a leader now. And it's everything that I wanted. I hope they don't give us a second trailer and that they just cut up snippets from this one, but we know we're eventually going to get a second trailer from it. But it was great in the fact that you got Nick Fury in there, you got Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, and they're kind of forcing Spider-Man to be like, you have to take this leadership role. This is a time period where you have to grow up. And him kind of combating that and saying, yo, I just want to be with my friends and just tell this girl that I like her and just like date. I don't want to do all of this. But people also saying, yo, Tony wouldn't have sacrificed the way that he did if he didn't think that you could do it. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic. I'm 100% on board for it. And it also opens up the possibility of the multiverse as well. So I'm dumb hype about it. I spoke in length about it on my YouTube channel. Please make sure to go check that out, Melvin Taylor II on YouTube, so that way you guys can hear everything that I have to say. And then as we get more information about it, I'll be able to talk to you guys more about it here. Last tidbit that I'm going to throw at you guys too is that you guys remember that Vice Live got canceled. That was their show that they were doing in their studio every single week. Just kind of their version of going live and doing whatever it is that they could do to create a live show. Some aspects of it were cool. Some aspects of it, I was like, I feel like y'all could have improved here, and here. But they eventually canceled the show. They said they were going to fold certain parts of it and promote them as other avenues, whether that's on their website or digital shorts, so on and so forth. Reason I'm bringing this up is because Vice today just got about $250 million invested into them, and they are hiring. So if somebody out there is like, yo, I'm trying to get me a job at Vice, by all means, bro, jobs are available out there for you to go ahead and grab one. So definitely make sure that you go and get it for they cash out and they all booked up and filled. So y'all please go ahead and do that, or let anybody know that's trying to make it into the entertainment space that that's happening. Hey, Vice, yo, if y'all want a show to put on, your boy got a couple of them. I got some ideas too. You just hit me up, boy. Hit me up. Ideas on the way. Whatever y'all need, I got it for y'all. Y'all just let me know. All right. This is the alternative of Melvin Taylor II right here on WHCR 90.3 FM New York, the voice of Harlem. I got some more music coming for y'all. We back right here on the alternative WHCR 90.3 FM New York, the voice of Harlem. And just in case any of you guys forget one more time, let me go ahead and throw this on real quick.
Don't touch that dial. Keep it locked on WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem.
Boom, 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 boom. Y'all know what it is. Remember, this is your guy, Melvin Taylor II, right here on WHCR 90.3 FM New York, the voice of Harlem. That right there was Energy by Big Crit. Shout out to the Jill Scott sample on that track, because it was amazing. Guys, this is my 150th episode of this radio show. I cannot believe that. Like, I literally cannot. Like, it's one thing when you come here and you do it every single week, or I'm gonna just leave it at that. It's one thing when you come here and do it every single week, but to like sit back and reflect on, yo, I've done this 150 times is absolutely insane. Like, I remember when I started doing the show back in October 2015, I didn't even back in October 2015, I didn't even like talking. I literally was like rushing to stop talking so that way I could get the music back on, because I was like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to do it. Like, it was insane. It was absolutely insane to me, because now sometimes I get emails from people I'm not gonna call no names out. I get emails from people that's like, "Hey Melvin, can you play more music, bro? You be talking so much now." And I'm like, "Nah, bro, we striking an even balance out here. We gotta correct everything." It's incredible to me, man. It really is, because I started. Let me go all the way back. So, in college, I had a radio show where me and my homie Jamal, shout out to Jamal. I forget what was it like. It was like intellectual something, or like hood rat something. I forget what the name of it was, bro. But we was just goofing around, just being like, yo, we just gonna play music. Ain't nobody listening at all. Like, we in the middle of Illinois, middle of nowhere. Ain't nobody tuning into the radio show right now. We just gonna go on air and have fun. And it was kind of surprising, because a couple people actually did tune in and tell us that, yo, it was a pretty good show, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that y'all was even listening. Like, cool. But it was dope. Got me a little taste of it. And I was like, all right, like, this is cool, whatever. Right? Left to go back. Because, I don't know if everybody out there knows, but like some of y'all know, at the same time, I was also playing. I keep getting caught looking this way. I got to look this way. I was still playing basketball and running track in college at that point in time. So it was a lot going on, and I wanted to get more into it after I stopped playing sports, but I got more into being a leader on campus, and also into acting and singing in choir. So I just didn't really have enough time to be able to. Yeah, I was a bass out there. What's up? I really wasn't able to dive back into it the way in which I wanted to. So that was the end of that. But graduating from college, I had to come. So I got into the IRTS program. If you guys remember the same episode we had Mikkel on, we also had some people from the IRTS program in here. I got into that program, and I found out maybe like 3-4 weeks, like a month before it was time for me to graduate college. So I had to miss my entire senior week because I had to be out here for orientation. Flew back on the first weekend that all of us were here for orientation, where everybody went out and had a ball. I had to fly back to go graduate. After I graduated, packed up my room, drove to Chicago. The very next morning, I had to fly back here to be able to start my internship, right? And obviously, I was exposed to so much, was able to learn so much, was able to do so much from that internship. But that just kind of fueled me, in a sense, to be like, I want to get back here. I want to be in the media creation, content creation space. That's what I want to do. That's who I want to be. I see what Ryan Seacrest is doing. I believe Nick Cannon might have still been on the radio at that point in time. I want to do that. I know Terrence J was doing radio out in Miami for a little while. I need to get into that space. And I really didn't have any avenue to be able to do it, because everybody at that point in time had been telling me, yo, like, you have to get into a big brand, and you have to be able to navigate it from there. Like, that's basically the only way to be able to do it. Nobody was really like pumping up YouTube and stuff the way that they are now. It was still kind of like, yo, get to a big brand and make it happen from there. And that's ultimately what I was say that one more time. Big baller. Oh, well, yeah, big baller brand. You gotta go to a big brand, and it has to work out from that aspect. So I was knocking on the doors of CBS, NBC, Fox, ABC, I'm not going to list all the 52 companies at Viacom, but there at Revolt, like, I was literally trying every E-News, entertainment, like everything, to be like, what can I do to be able to make it happen? Radio stations, back here in New York and in Chicago. So I'm also checking out every Chicago affiliate as well, because that's where I ultimately had to go back to, and had to go back home to too. So I had to really just try my hand and make sure that I can do everything that I wanted to do. But with that being said, I got back to Chicago, and, I was working for a little while and just being like, all right, like, let me put this to rest for a little bit. Let me just work the 9 to 5 and see what I can figure out from there. And then just kind of go from there, and it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right to me. It was like, I'm not being most true to myself. I'm not doing everything that I want to do. But I got to figure out a way to make it happen, pretty much. And from there I was like, okay, well, what can I do? Like, is there is there any way that I can do it? Like, I thought about starting a YouTube channel at that point, but I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, and I didn't have the money to be able to buy a camera. I mean, I kind of did have the money to buy a camera, but in my mind, I was like, I didn't have the money to buy a camera. First thing I did was like go on backstage and start doing acting stuff to kind of jump back into that. And I ended up meeting and connecting with some people that I still talk to this day, and was able to kind of expand my wings a little bit more. But after that, I said, okay, I still need to take like one more step, like another step in that direction. What can I do? And what I ended up doing was starting to take night classes. So I said, okay, I can go to work, and then after work, I'm going to go and take night classes. How long are these night classes? 3.5 hours. Oh, this sucks. I got to take night class for 3.5 hours. Now, mind you, when I was in school, I studied print journalism, so I knew how to write. I know how to write, right? So I was still doing that. I was writing for I was writing for 2 Laker blogs at that point in time, Lakers Nation. Also writing for Game 7 Network, which was another sports blog too. So it wasn't like I wasn't getting clips out there. I was still doing it, but I just wanted to grow and build at that point. Those same outlets had helped me to get different radio show looks at that point in time. I was able to go on different radio shows. I actually, funny enough, during my senior year of college, I think it was actually my senior year of college. It was the year that Dwight Howard was on the Lakers. I was covering them at that point in time for both of the Laker websites. And I was able to go online to, I think, Fox Sports Tampa station, and they called me in and we were talking on the phone, and I was on the phone for like 12 minutes just talking about the Lakers and everything that was going on as like their Laker insider. And I remember it was such a big thing because I was a part of Student Senate at that point in time, and I had to leave the Student Senate meeting to be able to go and do it. And me and the president of Student Senate were cool, so he was like, yeah, go ahead and do it. But I had no clue that he stopped the meeting at that point in time and turned it on so that way everybody in the Student Senate meeting was like listening to me talk. And I happened to be like in a room just like down the hall, and I had no clue until I came back, and it was like, hey, Melvin, congratulations. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? What's happening right now, right? So I took the time to be able to learn these things in college. Aside from writing as well, I also after I stopped playing sports and became more of a leader on campus, I was like, what other ways can I still be like those three guys I mentioned earlier? Stuart Scott was also a big inspiration for me. So I was like, what can I do at this point to be able to grow myself towards that? So I started broadcasting the basketball games. I started doing the color commentary and the play-by-play commentary sometimes, because I was like, I know everybody from playing basketball, from doing all these sports, so I can do that. Also switched over into baseball and did that. Also did football commentary as well. Even commentated on soccer games too. Like this wasn't something that it just sparked one day and I just started doing it from there. Even though that is some people's story and that's something that can happen. This is something that's been a long time in the making, right? So I say all of that to say I get back to this point where I'm in Chicago. I'm working every single day. I'm tired all the time, but I'm like, I know that going to this night class will be beneficial for me, and I got to do what I got to do. If I got to make the sacrifice to be able to do it, then I have to sacrifice to be able to do it, right? So I enroll at ICB, Illinois Center for Broadcasting. It's now known as Illinois Media School, and I start taking night classes there. So I'm there 3 to 4 times. Honestly, I'm there like 5 times a week, and taking 3.5 hour classes, sometimes staying there for 4 or 5 hours. This is after work and on my weekends. Then I'm there that long to learn whatever I can from the teachers, from the instructors that we have at that point. Also put it together to figure out how I can make that happen, how I can make that work for me in the best possible way. Just kind of soak up all the knowledge that I absolutely could at that point in time, and really begin to build everything that I'm doing now. And specifically what I studied and why I chose that night school was because they had a program that focused on radio and TV. And I was like, that's perfect. That's everything that I want to do. And they had people that were radio and TV figures within the Chicago space coming in teaching our classes. So a lot of these guys that are in Chicago that you see on the red carpets doing those interviews, they were our teachers. A lot of people that you heard on the radio, I would turn to 107.5 WGCI in Chicago, and they would be on the radio. I would turn to Power 92.3 in Chicago. They would be on the radio. I would turn to 106.7 V103 103.5 in Chicago and turn on the radio, and those guys will be our instructors. So I'm like, I'm learning from the people that are doing this, or I'm learning from the people that are on their digital team. Like that's something that I need. And just going through that, and just the people that I met at that point in time, some people that I still talk to this day, every single day. And it was an amazing and transformative experience, because it really helped to show me that, you know what, it can be a way for me to be able to make this happen, because there have been success stories of people coming from that and rising up and making it happen. Like right now, funny enough that I bring that up, because one of the guys that's like the 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. guy for Power 92.3, shout out to my boy Ricky. Ricky Rampage is what he goes by, in Chicago, 92.3. He was actually he graduated a class ahead of me, and was he was one of the station programs. The school had a station, WICB. And he was one of the station programmers there. Also, another person that was a station programmer there is my guy Domity Pongo, that hosts for MTV News Need to Know right now. He was there too. One of my homegirls is also a writer for that show, Sunny Valentine. She was in my class at that point in time. One of my other guys, Anthony Gill, who is now a producer for the Score out in Chicago, which is one of the big sports talk radio stations. He's a producer there that's on the rise. He's the youngest producer there, killing it so far, working day and night, and I know he's going to be uber successful. He's there doing that right now too. He was also in my class. And it's funny enough, going back and looking at what we were doing then and now seeing everybody go into their different functions and succeed now. Like Domity's out there, and Domity and Sonny are both at MTV killing it. Ricky is on 92.3, also hosting, also acting, out here killing it. Tony is out here. He's asking. He's covering all the Bulls games, all the White Sox games, all the Bears games, killing it right now. And it's dope to be able to see that progression from people, because it's like, these are my peers, these are my friends, these are folks that I'm around all the time, and seeing them grow and blossom into that. At that point in time, we didn't know. We was just trying to work and just trying to make it happen however best we could. But now being able to look back and reflect on it, it's like it has so much more meaning, and it's like, oh, this is so powerful to be able to see that progression from people. So, but back then we had no clue, right? We were still trying to figure it out, still trying to work it out. And, you know, Tony convinced me to come with him one Saturday morning to this show called D and Davis. Shout out to my guys, D and Davis, the Muns, Ken, Kyle Means from We Are Regal Radio. Also Sydney as well, Sid the Kid. And they had a radio show that they did every Saturday morning, where it was a sports talk radio show. And Tony was interning for them, and they let me come in, do some intern stuff as well, and also talk on the show occasionally too about what I thought, even though they thought some of my takes were wild, even though Tony's takes are a lot wilder than mine right now. I don't think Tony even thinks that Reggie Mills is a Hall of Famer, but that's a whole nother conversation right now. And it was just great to be able to go in there and be able to learn from them and see what it takes to do a full, like they were doing a 3-hour talk radio show. And I'm like, they're sitting right here on Michigan Avenue in Chicago. Like, you walk past the glass, you can see them talking, all of that. And they're doing a 3-hour show every Saturday. So every Saturday when I wasn't trying to go out for an audition or act or something, I would go down there just to be able to learn from them. Or if I couldn't make it down there, I would turn on the station just so that way I could listen to them and see everything that I could soak up from them. And after that, another buddy of mine who's also in the same group chat that we have, Jason, he had a show called Spring to All Fields, and it was just him on the show, but his producer ended up leaving, so he brought Tony on the show, and then they wanted another guy on the show, and eventually I was able to come onto the show too. And the same thing that we were able to do on D and Davis, we then went to be able to do on Jason's show, Spring to All Fields, and talk about baseball, talk about basketball, talk about football, talk about a little bit of entertainment as well, man. And it was just awesome to be able to do that and to grow from that. So imagine at this point in time, man, I'm like, I fully graduated, got my degree, working full time, and I'm still going to night classes for 3, sometimes 3.5 hours, not getting home. Like, I'm not leaving class till 10:30. So I'm not getting home until like 11:45, almost midnight, right? At that point in time. and just consistently putting in that work. And even on weekends, on like Saturdays, I'm getting up at 9 a.m. to go downtown Chicago to go do these shows, not coming back home until like 4 or 5 p.m. because I'm trying to get as many reps in, trying to get these 10,000 hours in, trying to do everything that I can to get better at doing this. I'm sorry, I just had a moment just thinking about all of it. So with that being said, we get closer towards the end of the program, right? And some of the shows started to shift around. I think Jason stopped doing spraying the all fields, and one of my guys, Elliot, shout out to Elliot from WLGK, because him and Kev, R.I.P. to Kev, for real, he's a real one. But Elliot came to me with this idea, and came to us, let me say, with this idea of being like, hey, Elliot was one of the station and studio and managers just like in the space overall. He was like, yo, I'm starting up my own radio station, WLGK Logic Radio, where life and music speaks. And I want you guys, like, we need some shows. So if you guys want to do some shows, by all means, you're more than welcome to be able to do one. So we thought about it, and we were like, you know what, we're gonna do a show. We're gonna call it Jam Session. Jason, Anthony, Melvin Jam Session, where we're not gonna talk anything sports related, because that's what we do on Spraying All Fields. So we're gonna talk about everything in entertainment and like music and all of that. And I think we did like maybe 1-2 episodes at most, but we had a lot of fun. We were starting to build a rapport, and the reason that I say we were able to do 1 or 2 episodes at most was because that's when I got the call that I was gonna be able to come back to New York to be able to work, and I had a week to be able to make it happen. Imagine, like, here's the setup, right? I'm actually leaving. I can remember the day like this. I'm actually leaving from the studio. We just finished an episode of Jam Session, and funny enough, I finished a class assignment before that we had to do like a mock radio demo, and we had to come up with a radio station and everything. Guess what the station's call numbers were? 90.3. Where are we at? WHCR 90.3 FM New York, the voice of Harlem. Crazy how all that goes full circle, right? And I remember driving back home with my mom and just being like, yo, like, I don't know what's going on. I feel like I need to do some more. I feel like I'm just not breaking through the way in which I want to. And she kind of gave me a real like G-check moment at that point in time, and was like, yo, like, at your age, me and your dad had you. Life ain't that hard for you right now, bro. You got a roof over your head. You doing everything you want to do. You chasing it. It's not like you not doing anything at all. You just got to give it some time. Yeah, it's going to work out, but just give it time. And also, you never know what's going to happen. You never know. Like, anything could happen like that, and everything in your fortunes could switch around. Everything could flip around. More often than not, I kind of tune my mom out. I was like, yeah, okay, mom. Like, whatever. That's the mom advice. But my mama be right, bro. Like, she told me to enter that LeBron James contest, and I ended up meeting LeBron James. So I'm gonna give y'all that story later. But I was like, all right, mom, like, cool, whatever. So the next day, I go into work. I get into work dumb early, right? And I'm getting a phone call at my desk. There's nobody else around, so I'm like, who's calling my phone this early in the morning? I'm checking, and it's a New York number. My heart, like, dropped for a second. I was like, who is calling me from New York at this time? Pick it up. And it's one of my mentors, one of the mentors I had at that point in time, or one of the people, let me not even say mentor, one of the guys that I was super cool with, that was working at a big media conglomerate. And he was calling me and being like, yo, there's this job that's open. If you want to apply for it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to do it. Apply for it. Went through the whole application process, got the job and everything. And he was like, hey, I'm glad you did that. I'm retiring this week, so I won't be here when you get here. But glad that you were able to get in the family. Glad to have you here. People here going to take care of you. We all good. I was like, all right, cool, bet. All right, when do y'all need me out there? Are you signed to a lease right now? No, I'm staying at the crib. What's good? All right, we need you out here next week. I'm sorry, what? We need you out here next week. Hold on, I don't think y'all. Wait, y'all need me out there when?
Harlem has its own radio station, WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem.
I was so shocked, guys. I was so shocked. Like, it was a Wednesday he told me that. He was like, you have to officially start next Friday. So I had to put in my letter of resignation basically Thursday, because I had to go through Wednesday because I was debating. I was like, is this something that I need to do? I went back to class. I was calling all my cousins that lived here. I was talking to all my friends at that point in time who were either producers at ICB and just like figuring stuff out. I was like, I don't know if this is like, is should I stay? Like, I feel like I'm making progress here. Like, what do I do? And they all was just like, hey, bro, like, probably once in a lifetime opportunity. Don't get this up. And I was thinking that same thing too. So I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Put in my pink slip. Ended up leaving that job that Friday. My manager was pissed. But sorry, bro. I had to do what I had to do. And packed up that whole weekend. This is like in July. So I remember I celebrated July 4th out here. And packed up and had to leave that following Tuesday. I had to find me like an Airbnb up in Harlem. And because I couldn't afford a place just out the gate like that. So I spent all the savings, all the money that I had at that point on that Airbnb in Harlem. Because funny enough, I had just started saving money because I went to go visit a friend of mine out in LA. And I was like, bro, I'm moving to LA like next year. Like April 20, what was that? That was 2015. I was like, April 2016, bro, moving to LA. It's going to happen. Let me start saving right now. Psych. God was like, psych, bro. July 2015, you moved to New York, bro. So all the money that I had in my savings gone into that Airbnb. I was literally surviving on McDonald's fries, Popeyes chicken slices, and ramen noodles. Yeah, it was crazy. Them, listen, I'm forgetting, like, I was about to say chicken selects, but that's McDonald's. It was like the chicken tenders from Pop. Bro, I was them $5 boxes was hitting at that point in time, bro. That was all I could afford at that point in time, bro. It was a struggle. It was a struggle, to say the least. The Airbnb I was staying in, while nice, they ain't have any real pans. I ain't even have no money to afford to go buy no pans. I was cooking steak in pots. I was cooking steaks in pots, bro. It was crazy. And I was literally like, I remember, because I was losing hair every single day, being like, bro, I don't have any more money. I haven't started, like, they haven't paid me yet. Well, I don't know where my next meal is coming from. I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford this place anymore. I had moved into another Airbnb, and I was like, I don't even know if I can afford this place anymore. Like, what am I going to do? And lucky enough, the money started kicking in. I had one of my homies from the IRTS program had also just moved to New York too, and was like, all right, look, this week I'm going to move in. We both going to find a place together. Blah, blah, blah. Because early in the year, he was telling me he was going to move to New York around that time. And I was like, man, I'm moving to LA next year. And then funny enough, I just had to move, and we ended up becoming roommates. One of my best friends now. Shout out to Mate. And we ended up moving into there. But let me tell y'all real quick. Make sure that if anybody ever tells you they going to move you out, get your money up front, bro. Get your money up front. Because I got here and was like, yo, this the amount y'all said y'all was going to give me. And you know what they hit me with? Yo, here go taxes in New York, homie. Taxes in New York took half of that. So be gone with this half that you got. I was sick. I was counting on that money, y'all. I was counting on it. I was absolutely sick. But nonetheless, was able to make it here, right? So again, we taking broad strokes to be able to get there, but I want you guys to understand everything that it took to help to get to this point, right? So now I'm staying up in Washington Heights, and I'm out every single day trying to figure out what ways, whose door do I need to knock on? Do I need to go stand outside Revolt to meet Diddy? Like, what do I need to do? I need to sneak upstairs to the Revolt offices to go meet Diddy. Like, whatever I could do, because we was in the same building as one of the Revolt offices, because I saw some of the Revolt talent. And I try and slyly be like, hey, yo, bro, like, what's good? See y'all on TV, blah, blah, blah. Let's holler, blah, blah, blah. All of that. Let's talk. They was not giving me no time of day. It was like, psh, slide. I also saw, you remember AJ and Free from 106 Apart? I used to see AJ up on the street. I used to see Chris Hansen on the street too. I try and grab them for 2 seconds and be like, yo, let's talk. I would love to learn, blah, blah, blah. They wouldn't give me no time of day either. So I was like, all right, I got to figure out another way to make this happen. And at that point, Elliot from WLGK hit me up and was like, yo, Melvin, if you go buy you a microphone, once you get settled, if you just want to podcast you a show to start, then, you know, you can submit that and kind of do it. And I was like, oh man, you know what? That would be clutch. Like, all right, that would kind of be dope if I could do that. Thank you for that. All right, cool. We already had that relationship. I was sad that Jam Session wasn't able to take off the way in which it had started as. So now I just need to do a little bit more, and I can do stuff on my end. I can create my own show. All right, great. I sat there and just kind of agonized, like, what is the name of my show gonna be? I don't know. Like, what can I do? What name should it have? And I thought for the longest amount of time about what it was going. There we go. What it was going to be, how I was going to name it, how I was going to market it, all of that. And one day it just hit me. I was like, the alternative. The alternative with Melvin Taylor. I is what I'm going to call it. And the reason that I called it that is because if you listen to that story, you just sat there through all of that, you saw and you noticed that, again, I did not have a direct path to get to where I wanted to go, right? I didn't get hired out the gate by an NBC, by a CBS, by a Fox, by a MSNBC, by a MTV, by a BET, by a Nickelodeon, by a magazine, by a entertainment news site. None of that happened straight out the gate. So I was like, all right, I can call it The Alternative because of two reasons. One, I like a lot of these artists that I listen to. I like their B-side records better than I like their A-side records, as in I would love their mixtapes but not like their albums. Or I would like albums that everybody did not like. So I like the alternate side, right? And at the same time, I'm on an alternative route on my journey, right? I'm taking an alternative road to get to where I want to go. When you're going to your destination or you're trying to get to where you want to go, right? You sometimes can't go that direct route. You sometimes can't just hop into CBS and just be on TV right away, or the MTV or the VH1 or the BET be on TV right away. When you get rerouted on your GPS, what it say? Alternate road available. That's what I'm on right now. I was like, okay, I'm taking my own path. I'm creating my own path. Yeah, it's gonna be a detour. I'm understanding that, it might take a little while, but ultimately I think this will be worth it. And at the same time, I remember praying and asking God at that point in time, you know what, God? I don't want to be put on in a sense like that. I don't think I want to just get on a major network and not be prepared for it and mess up the opportunity. I would rather take the slow grind. I would rather slowly build something up so that way I do have something of my own to be able to show and to be able to build off of and to be able to have intellectual property and build with and be able to pull people into my world through that. That would be the ultimate win for me. Obviously was listening to a lot of Nipsey Hussle back then at that point in time, right? So I was like, yo, that would definitely be the way in which I want to go. Let's do that. So I dubbed the name The Alternative, and we started right then and there. And now we here, bro. We here. Like we started online. We was doing the show, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. New York time every Tuesday night. That's how it was right there on WLGK Logic Radio. And after doing that for 2 years, once I ended up leaving the media conglomerate that I was at beforehand, I was able to then parlay that into coming here and doing my show. I was like, all right, I'm no longer working the traditional 9 to 5 in a sense like I was beforehand. Anything that I do at this point, any job that I go into, any job that I take, I'm going to let them know up front, these are my intentions. This is my life. This is what I want to do. And I have to work doing this show around that. I have to do it. I'm not breaking on that whatsoever. So if that means even if you have to find another candidate, then go ahead and so be it. But anything that I want to do and anything that I work in has to be done around this show. And so far, every situation I've been in so far they've been more than helpful. And they've been perfectly fine being like, it's good that you have an outside interest aside from here. So please, by all means, do whatever you got to do to go ahead and do your show. And guys, it's crazy to me to think that this little show that I just started is like a podcast of being like, it's going to be my way to be able to help branch myself out and bridge myself onto bigger platforms and into your lives and into your ears through the airwaves, like thinking that this would be, all right, this could be the start of my way to be able to do things. Like to if I could go back and tell myself now that, bro, 150 episodes in, you're going to be doing your show at a radio station that's also going to be broadcast later on as a TV episode. It's also going to be on your YouTube channel, which has 10,000 subscribers as well. And soon enough will be podcasted so that way everybody can listen to it whenever they want. I would be overjoyed, bro. I would be like, there's no way. There's no way. Knowing me and knowing how I think, I'd be like, oh, it's 2015, so that's going to be a 2016, right? And I'd be like, you might want to chill, bro. You might want to, let's relax on that. You still need to get some of these wins under your belt first. But just building all the way up to this point, man, has been absolutely incredible. And it's funny because this wouldn't have happened had I not gotten out of that conglomerate that I was with at first. And funny enough, my YouTube channel wouldn't have happened had the company that I had been working at before I started my YouTube channel, had our situation not ended. Let me say that. Had our situation not ended when it did, I probably wouldn't have done my YouTube channel the way in which I did it. Because that situation, long story short, pulled a rug from underneath me. And I was caught in a catch-22 where I was like, yo, I may have to sell my camera just to be able to make ends meet because I have nothing right now. I don't know how I'm gonna pay this rent. I don't know where my next meal is coming from. But I'm steady looking for the police right now and making sure that nobody catch me because I gotta hop this turnstile to get back home. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I remember talking to my dad on the phone and he was like, yo, man, don't sell that camera. No matter what you do not sell that camera because that's going to be your way out. That's going to be your way for you to build everything. You've been talking about that camera for years. You finally got it. Just take this time that you got right now, invest that into yourself. Do what you can do, son. Do what you can do. And I'm so glad I listened to him and did not sell the camera because that's when I was like, you know what? I love doing these reaction videos. I have been watching those for years. I absolutely just was enamored by being able to watch somebody watch something else and then talk about it and share their viewpoint on it. And I was like, yo, I think I have a pretty, like, me and my friends always have interesting conversations about trailers that come out or music that come out. And in college, I was that guy that'd be like, yo, did y'all hear this new song that came out? Oh, let me play it for you. Did you hear this new album by this artist? Do you know who this artist is? Let me play that for you. And then start a dialogue afterwards. That would be me. So it just matched up perfectly that everything that I'm doing now is just an extension of more so myself and more so being myself. And it adds back into the aspect of knowing yourself and knowing who you are is really going to help you tap into your talents and your gifts. And that's really going to be what's going to transcend you to the next level in a sense. Now, understanding that there are a lot of obstacles and difficulties in doing that, but when I really looked back at it and I was like, I got in touch with who I am and what I did, like when I went back and looked at what I did in high school and what I did in college, I'm literally doing those same things with you guys all the time now. Same how me and my friends will be acting goofy or we like improv without even improvising and just like make up stories and whatnot. I do that on stage out here for the Magnet Theater, right? Or whenever we're shooting short digital sketches. Or like web series that me and my friends are developing. Do that now. Whenever I be like, hey guys, like let's talk about this song, let's talk about that. I do that with you guys on YouTube. Melvin Taylor II right there. New video every single day. Every day y'all can get a new video. Right? And be like, let's talk about music, let's talk about movie trailers. Do that right then and there. And then afterwards, the discussion that we would have, and sometimes those will go into longer discussions and also popular culture discussions. That's what I'm doing with you guys right here. And then on occasion, whenever bigger people would come by to our school, say, for example, Godfrey came to our school on like a student carnival day that we had, and it also happened to be on my birthday. I was able to sit down and interview him and talk to him for a little bit, right? I do that all the time, too, when I'm making Manhattan Show. Sit down and talk to people and just be like, yo, what's your why? How did you get to where you are? What's going on? You know? doing my own rendition of the Charlie Rose thing, or the Tavis Smiley thing, since a lot of people don't want to say Charlie Rose. But it's just crazy to think to me that it's actually something that's happening. It's actually something that's possible. Because for the longest, you going through those days where you like, bro, I don't think this can work. I don't think I can do this. I'm to be completely transparent with you guys and to be completely honest, y'all don't know how many times I was on that train just breaking down, being like, I don't know if I can do this. Because when I first started this show, it was not this 11:55 to 2 a.m. slot. When I first started this show and was telling people, yo, I'm not compromising doing this show, I was doing this show from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Imagine going to work a full day, going home, eating, maybe taking a nap, maybe going to sleep, maybe not. Getting on the train to go from where I lived at that point in time at 1 a.m. to be able to make it to this station by 2:30 at the latest, and then prepare to go on air for 3 hours. Then after that, I have to go straight to work. I did that for a full year. Those train rides coming up here and those train rides going back to go to work, like I'm seeing people that are getting up going to work, right? Same thing like now. I'm taking the train up here and I'm going back home, right? Like, y'all know how many times those trains stopped and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be late, or it would be terrible weather outside and I had to swap trains like 4 or 5 times to be able to get up here. Or, just overall, just days when you just wake up and you like, yo, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this at all. Why am I doing this? Or you have those self-doubt days where you're like, bro, I don't think this is possible. I don't think it's meant for me to make it this far in terms of doing all this. There has to be another way. Is this really the way to make it happen? And if there's anybody that's going through that at this point in time, I'll tell you right now, keep going, bro. Keep going. All that adversity that you're going through ain't going to do nothing but help build character. And I understand that that's some cheap cliche thing to say, but that character shows through when you get put in situations that test you and you don't fold. As Nipsey Hussle would say, when you stay 10 toes down and you don't fold to the pressure and you come through and transcend it the way that you were meant to, then all that character building that you went through was worth it. So now when I go out and talk to people and I go out and do things, a lot of people may see, oh man, Melvin's just going online. He just got 10,000 subscribers, blah, blah, blah. It's easy for anybody to get that, et cetera, et cetera. I'm building something more than that, man. I've been at this for years. And yeah, this might be the beginning of what you see. But this is just all on my alternative path, all on my alternate road to get to where I want to go. And anybody that's out there, yo, don't ever think that you by yourself. Don't ever think, yo, if you chasing a dream that there ain't nobody else that's out there working with you, alongside you. Like, yo, I'm always here, bro. I'm always working on something too, sacrificing sleep. So don't ever think that you are on this alternative path by yourself. Your boy's right there with you in anything that you want to do. But man, I'm just so happy, so thankful, so blessed that we are at this point in time for this to be the 150th episode, man. For this to be it. And funny enough, like around the same time that I moved to this time slot is when I went to go see Sharif Keys play, invited Sharif Keys on my show, and then Kyle ended up coming, and now Kyle's been here for the past year too. So it's like, man, all of this stuff is just lining up, man. All of this stuff is just lining up. And yeah, there's still times where I get frustrated. Yes, there's still times where I'm like, oh man, I don't know about this. But with that being said, like when you take yourself out of the day-to-day picture and you pull back and you look at the grand scheme of things, you will be super thankful that you went through the trials and the obstacles that you did to be able to get to where you're going to. Because it ain't going to do nothing but make everything worth it. So I just want to say thank you so much to all you guys for listening to the show and for supporting me so far, for subscribing to my YouTube channel, for following me all on social media, because I'm really trying to build something awesome, guys. I really am. I know that I'm mostly reactions, and I know that I'm mostly reviews and all of that. But as y'all see from me doing this radio show, from me doing Making Manhattan, from me doing sketch comedy and some of the sketches that you guys will be getting from there, and also breaking news, I'll be doing some web series as well that I'm going to be releasing on there too. And maybe eventually some movies and everything too, if everything lines up the way it's supposed to. I'm really building something I think that's going to be long standing. It's going to be super awesome, guys. And I'm so thankful and so glad and so blessed that you all have been a part of it with me thus far. And I'm just super excited to see what the next phase of everything looks like. So I know I done talked y'all ear off. I know I done talked a long time. And I just wanted to be able to give you guys a better understanding of where I came from, how I got to doing everything that I'm doing today. And just from all of that, I think you guys can picture what the next steps are going to be and where I'm going to go next from there, man. So I'm just so thankful. Just so thankful. Had the birthday, got the 10K, got the 150. Man, oh man, it's just awesome. Just absolutely awesome, bro. So just don't ever forget, man. I'm on this road with you. I'm on this alternative road with you. I'm chasing my dreams however which way I can. And for all of y'all that are out there doing the exact same thing, I'm right there alongside you, hustling, grinding, doing everything that I can to make sure that mine can happen. And I know that y'all going to be able to do the exact same thing, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that actually is going to be the show right there. That's it, guys. That's it. That's all we can do for this week. Got to get prepared. Got to get ready because we got the next one coming in. But again, I just want to say thank you. Please make sure that if you're listening to this show on any platforms, you go ahead and subscribe to it so that way you can get more of it. Please make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Melvin Taylor II. Subscribe to that as well. Videos will be coming every single day, whether that's from the radio, from Making Manhattan, from a reaction or review. You guys will be getting something from there. Also follow on social media. At The Alt with Mel is the name of my social media handle for the radio show. And at Melvin Taylor II is my own. And also check out my website, melvintaylorii.com, because I'll be posting dates from my Magnet Theater shows. And I think I'm going to start vlogging for you guys soon, too. So that way y'all can kind of see more of the day-to-day life and see everything that really entails into this alternative road that we own, man. So with that being said, guys, stay blessed, stay favored, always stay tailored. Let me do that again so I can look into the camera. Stay blessed, stay favored, always stay tailored. If you got a dream, see it through, and I will see you guys next time right here on the show, The Alt with Mel. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and ride on out to I gotta end it with this song, bro. I absolutely have to do it. Y'all know I had to. Nipsey Hussle, Grinding All My Life is the way that we can go ahead and get up out of here. All right. I will see you guys next week on the show. Remember, you are tuned in to WHCR 90.3 FM New York, the voice of Harlem. Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace to you, homie. Go ahead and take us out. Grinding All My Life, the alternative.